Hello, everybody. In Standard today, we are trying something a little new with Azorius. We're looking to draw as many cards as possible and make that part of our win con. We are going to have cheap spells that can control the game and draw spells that pump our creatures and get us closer to playing our big, powerful spells. So let's try this deck out and see how it performs, and make sure to stick around at the end of the games where we're going to talk about what's in the deck and how the deck performed. All right, well, we're going first. I think I'm okay keeping this. Let's see how it goes. Let's go island first, and then we'll get the consider going on their turn. Yeah, okay. Consider. Alright, cool. Yep, we'll go planes and move on to the next turn. Make disappear is better. It's a bit disappointing to have to drop the Hullbreaker, but it is what it is. So we'll move on. We got the 2 make disappears, so that's always good. That goes away, so we'll have... we need another island before we can play the Teferi, but we'll have the Wandering Emperor on this next turn. Shieldred, yeah. No. Not gonna let you have it. Yeah, we need another island. Crazy. Crazy that we're missing out on that island. We've got plenty. We do have plenty in our deck. So we'll go Wandering Emperor. Create our token. See it die. Yep, okay. There we go. That is what we like to see. We'll create the token. Okay, nothing happened there. So let's go to Teferi. Probably should have held up Make Disappear, but I did not. Okay, go for the throat. Takes that away. It'll be fine. I'm gonna mostly use Teferi as my draw. Bushwhack. All right. So we need to make sure that we're holding up that Make Disappear. Eiganjo. So let's go ahead and put that on. Perfect. So let's attack. It goes through. Draw another card. Wandering Emperor. Okay. And I'm going to play the Eiganjo, and we'll pass to the turn. I'm going to hold up that Make Disappear. Yeah, and that's why we held up the Make Disappear. Ooh, can I not? Oh, can't be countered. Alright. No, I don't. Okay. That one, I want to keep that one, and we're going to exile Maybe I'm not. Whatever. Nope, I don't. Cancel. Alright. Let's get some extra damage in. We're gonna clear the board. And we'll end our turn. Another tide. Another Rex, okay? Okay, so another Teferi. I'm gonna exile that. We'll play the 4. Okay. Now we wait. Another T-Rex. And we win, baby. 3 T-Rexes, a whole bunch of Yurgos. Take another win. Be mad. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this one. Gross. Whatever. I've got plenty of considers. Otawara is coming down so I can actually play the consider without freaking killing myself. Sure. Planes. Okay. Throw it on the planes. Pass it on over. Alright, so I am considering. Yes, you get it. Consider. Faithful Mending is a good card. And Sunfall. Alright. Kayla. Search. Create. Hit us. Thanks for the planes. Appreciate ya. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that trade. Planes down. Pass. So I think I'm going to win. Yeah, pass the damage that comes through. Faithful Mending. Drop the planes. And I guess I'm dropping Sunfall. Leyline Binding, okay. It does make me feel a little better. Pass it on over. What do you have that's at instant speed? Because I'm going to go Wandering Emperor. And I don't think I'm going to be blocking this Infiltrator. I think that... Oh, this is the thing on instant speed. Alright. I'm going to go Wandering Emperor on this next turn. Leave the Leyline Binding alone for something else. I'm not going to be blocking the Infiltrator. I'm going to be just creating the 2/2. And a Kayla's command. Alright. Give you +1. Opponent's probably gone anyways. And that's another tilt. Another tilt win for us in this deck. Another tilt. Alright, well, we are going to go first, and I'm going to keep this. We have all of our colors. Alright, Blossoming Sands, okay. We'll go there, pass the turn. That's not happening. Alright, fine. You forced me to do this. Frickin' deck. I'm playing against enchantments, and we have to do that. Calyx. Yeah, put it on it. Plains comes down, and passing the turn over to you. You now get to decide what you want to do with your life. Yeah, green. Yeah. Okay. 2 lands. Alright. Audacity. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Yeah. And Wandering Emperor, that out of here. Bye. Well, we kind of need a land for that. Does enchantments have something with haste? I'm gonna hold it back. It's probably really dumb. I probably should have attacked. Yeah, Faithful Absence. Alright. I get a clue because of that. And I'll take that. Ossification? Okay. I'll consider. Yeah, I'll draw that. Seems like a weird thing to grab. But, you know. Yeah, I'll draw another card. Wandering Emperor. Eternal Wanderer, not Wandering Emperor. Eternal Wanderer. So Teferi. -2, you. So they can play whatever they want. Commune with spirits, okay. So they're being a little slow with what they got. Okay, four lands. Calyx, alright. Calyx. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm a -2 this. And we'll Faithful Mend. That one. Well, I want the Hullbreaker Horror. We'll draw into a bunch of cards. So let's drop those. And then we've got, yeah, the Otawara City. Yeah. Oh, maybe should have attacked. Forgot that that one doesn't have, that one has, yeah, ossification. Yeah. That's a big oops. Big oops by me. Should have attacked. Did not. It's what it is. It's what it is. I forgot that it didn't have haste. Well, they took the Teferi. Spirited Companion is... No, I'll let you do it. I want to kill this Calyx. I'll pay the life. Make disappears. Well, I just barely got rid of all that stuff. So, make disappear is a good one. And... Yep, and we win. Trying to figure out what I'm going to drop. I end up going to take the Eternal Wanderer away, but they're going to lose their Calyx, and I've got big, huge creatures, so I'll have a 7/7 and a 6/6 that are going to be Vigilance, and I'm actually going to attack with it this time. So we'll kind of just take over from there. We'll get the Hullbreaker Horror down, and a couple of these other turns, Faerie Vandal as well. So just kind of take over. All right, welcome back to the main screen after those games. As you can tell, this deck plays just as you would think that an Azorius deck would play. It's very tilting for the opponent and can really just take over games against them. It's one of those that's just, if you like being in control of games, this is a deck for you. The games can be long, but at the same time they can be really short. It just depends on what kind of opponent you want to play against. The deck isn't necessarily completely optifined. This is something that needs to be fixed a little bit, I would say. One of those being these essence captures. I like the ability to be able to just like counter any creatures, any spell. Like I said, any creature spell and put a +1 on our creatures. We don't necessarily need essence capture. It's got the 2 blue pips, so it makes things a little annoying and hard to cast when we've got them. So, and it was just weird. The games that we played, we've got 14 basic lands, but the deck seemed to only want to draw one type of basic land. And so, but it made sure we draw our Mishras and our Takashias, and it was a little weird to have that. This is one of those lands that probably you don't need. I liked having the idea of paying 3 mana at the end of the games, but honestly, I didn't really use it all that much. So this is one of those that you could probably drop for any land that you would want, because having colorless mana when we've got a lot of things that need 2 of a color, it makes it pretty difficult to want to be able to play our cards. Probably need more Kayla's commands as well. We need to be drawing into planes. So I thought that having a ton of draw, we would draw into one of our 26 lands, but apparently we just need more of the, actually go and find the planes. But let's talk about the cards in this deck and why I chose the cards that I have. So consider it's a draw card. It's one of those that, and we get a choice. We could dump something that we don't want into our graveyard and we end up drawing a card. So, or we get the thing off the top and we get what we like. So this deck is really about drawing cards. So that's a really cheap and easy draw card. Faerie Vandal, like I said, this deck is really about drawing cards. So when we draw a second card each turn, we're putting +1/+1 counters on Faerie Vandal. The Faithful Mending works really well with that because we draw 2 cards automatically, so we can do that on an opponent's turn and we can still buff up Faerie Vandal. Would have loved to see Faerie Vandal more in games. That's one of the cards that I wanted to see more of. One of the cards I wanted to build this different type of Azorius around. Obviously, Teferi is a card where every time we draw cards, it gets bigger, and our creatures get bigger. So, yeah, we're going to be having that. Make Disappears, really easy counter for anything. So that's really nice to have that one. Essence Captures, like I said, it was to counter creatures and get +1s. It's just not. There are much better counter spells that you can play, because the +1/+1 counter on it it's not necessarily worth it, because most of our creatures are going to be getting +1/+1 counters on it by any other means, whether we're drawing cards or the Wandering Emperor is going to be putting a +1/+1 on it. So it's just not something that we necessarily need. And like I said, there are better counters for creature spells or anything else. Faithful Mending, we are drawing 2 cards, gaining 2 life. So it's a draw spell. It's nice. I like it. Kayla's Command, it's got 4 options. We get to choose 2. I'm using it mostly for that search for the planes, so that we make sure we get our mana going. I like being able to use the 2 life and scry for 2. Sometimes we need to play the top one where we are getting a 2/2 colorless construct. And a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control and it gains double strike can be game winning when we have Teferis on here and have its spirit creature tokens on the field. So that works really well together, and it can be game winning that way. Wandering Emperor, it's just a really good card. Really good planeswalker. We get samurais, get +1s, it gets first strike, it's got flash, exile. Yeah, basically everything you've ever heard of with Wandering Emperor there. Why would you not have it? Sunfall, so we don't necessarily play a lot of creatures in this deck. So Sunfall is a really nice sweeper for us. Plus we get the incubator token when we exile all those cards, so we get something out of it too. So I like Sunfall as my sweeper of choice for that reason, because we're able to get something out of it. So Teferi, this is a draw deck, so we're drawing cards. Every time we draw a card, Teferi gets loyalty. we get 2/2 spirit tokens that whenever we draw a card, we put a +1/+1 on that. Yeah. Obviously, of course, you're going to be having that on there. Leyline Binding is in here. Using it as our exile. It's got flash. It's nice. It's a good card to be able to have whenever we need to deal with something that the opponent has. The Eternal Wanderer is in here. Mostly utilizing that 0 ability where we're creating the 2/2 Samurai with double strike. And it can be a sweeper of its own if we really need it. Probably could drop down to 2. In all honesty, probably don't need 3 as much as the Eternal Wonder is a really good card, but it isn't necessarily the best Planeswalker for this deck. Probably Teferi and the Wandering Emperor are more likely to be the better ones. I have 2 Teferis in here. It's one of those wild card things. Probably could go up to 3, maybe 4 if you really wanted to, but probably should be going up to 3 or 4 with Teferi. But it's one of those wild card issues that I had while building it. And then last of all, we've got Hullbreaker Horror. It's a really good card. We've got a lot of spells here that are really cheap. So, and Considers and Kayla's. We've got a lot of stuff that's really cheap, so we can really do some damage with Hullbreaker Horror if we really need to. But that's about the deck here for you. Probably could be a little bit more optimized, like I said, but Essence Captures probably need to go away. Faerie Vandals could probably go away. We didn't necessarily see a lot of them. And just really hone in on controlling the game early game. Get some destroy, exile spells in there, and just really hone in on this back end of this Azorius draw and really focus on Teferi and the Wandering Emperor more so than anything else than the Faerie Vandal. Faerie Vandal is probably just not, it's not as good as these top ends that you could get. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time.
I went for the head.